Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Molly, also known as Mojo when I'm on the trail. And Darren and I are headed to the airport this morning. We are going somewhere pretty exciting and I can't wait to take you all along with us. Any idea where I'm going? I bet you'll be surprised. First flight down, landed in Dallas.
So happy.
2 more to go. About 8:45 and we have one more flight before we make it to Maine. We got some caffeine because we're falling asleep. I haven't really said what we're doing yet, so I guess I'll fill you in. So Darren and I just flew to Maine and we met up with Ziggy and we are going to hopefully summit Katahdin and help him finish his through hike. So it is currently just about 3 o'clock in the morning and we just got our packs all packed up and we're gonna head to Baxter State Park. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning and we're gonna start our hike up to Mount Katahdin. Ziggy, say hi! Darren, say hi!
Hey!
Woohoo! Let's go! We're on the Blueberry Ledges Trail. Well, we made it to the Birches at about 8:30 and we're all very, very cold. And toes are cold and numb and not doing too well. It's freezing. So we are aborting our plans to summit. But yep. So we're gonna hike back out to the car. Editing Molly here, I realized that I didn't really explain in too much detail like what happened and kind of why we decided to bail on our Katahdin ascent. So we took the Blueberry Ledges Trail, intending to go to Katahdin Stream Campground before going up the Hunt Trail. And so that trail is about 5 miles long. We started at like 4 o'clock in the morning. We hiked through the dark, which is pretty fun, but I think there was a little bit more snow than we were anticipating, and I think it was like, I don't know, maybe somewhere between like 0 and 10 degrees outside, so it was really, really cold. Yeah, we had a lot of layers, so we were pretty warm, but snow was kind of getting in our boots and getting our feet all wet. And then there was like one little stream crossing, and Darren slipped into the water and submerged both of his boots into the creek, so his feet were just completely soaked, which was not good. Luckily that was only like a 1/4 mile from the birches, so we got to the birches, he took his shoes off, and I used my stove to try to like dry out his boots as much as possible. It's really cold out here. Yeah, to get those dry, and then to take a little break and see what we wanted to do. And yeah, kind of after being at the birches for maybe like 45 minutes, not really being able to warm up our toes and things like that, we got you know, some real concerns about frostbite and hypothermia and things like that, just not being able to get warm. We, you know, deliberated for a little bit and just, you know, decided that the safer option was probably to just head back to the car and do the safe thing and not, you know, risk our lives or our toes. It was definitely a bummer that we had to turn back, but it was definitely the right choice. Trail Angel Mike sent us some pictures like the next day of someone who was attempting to go up the Hunt Trail, and they turned around just because of the conditions and how much snow was up there and everything. So I'll put some of those pictures up on the screen. But yeah, I think we definitely made the right choice in getting out of there and whatnot. But yeah, just wanted to explain a little bit more because I didn't in the moment. Let's get back to it. We're almost back to the car. We have maybe a mile or so, but we're by A-Ball Pond right now. We had taken the Blueberry Ledges Trail to the Birches, but decided to take the tote road back to the car. It was about 2 miles longer, but the snow was more packed down because snowmobiles use that road. When we made it back to the car, it was about 12:30 p.m. We got some lunch and then found a hotel to stay at for the next few days. We hadn't slept in about 36 hours, so that's pretty much all we did for the rest of this day. The next day, we didn't do too much because we were still pretty tired from traveling and our hike the previous day, but we were able to meet up with Trail Angel Mike, who drove from where he lives in Maine to Bangor to come and see us, and he took us to lunch. He had supported both Ziggy and I on our through hikes, so it was really nice to get to see him again and catch up with him a little bit. The day after that, we got up really early again and drove to Acadia National Park to do some exploring. Good morning. Well, I didn't film anything yesterday after we got back from attempting Katahdin, but we're still in Maine and we're still doing some fun stuff while we're here, even though our plans had to change. But we are in Acadia National Park. It's, I think, about 7 o'clock in the morning, and a lot of the park is closed because it's winter, obviously, and not as many tourists and things, but we are going to see what kind of trouble we can get into. Around 11 o'clock, we went to Bar Harbor and found the only cafe open and got some coffee, a breakfast sandwich, and some donuts. We went and found the one coffee shop that is open in the winter. Got some coffee and a donut. And now I think we are on the easiest trail in the park called the Compass Harbor Trail. It's a grand total of 0.8 miles round trip. Oh. There's somewhere. After visiting Acadia National Park for a couple of hours, we drove back to Bangor, and that evening we went out to dinner. We got some Thai food, and then we actually went and saw the play Dial M for Murder at the Penobscot Theater in Bangor. Well, my time here in Maine is pretty much over. We are gonna head to the airport here in a few minutes, but our trip didn't go exactly how we planned. Mama Kay didn't want us up on her summit this time, but we are gonna keep trying, or at least Ziggy's gonna keep trying to summit Katahdin and finish his through hike, but we still had a lot of fun. We went to Acadia National Park. Going to all the national parks is on my bucket list, so I was able to cross that one off. We were able to meet up with Mike, who is one of the amazing trail angels who helped Ziggy and I out on our through hikes. So that was really nice to get to see him again and go out and get some food and catch up and everything. And yeah, we just did some fun things here in Maine and got to see some snow and learned that 0 degrees is really, really cold. So in case you were wondering, it's it's pretty brutal, but yeah, gonna get going and go to the airport here pretty soon to head back to Oregon. Traveling back home ended up taking a lot longer than it was supposed to. Our first 2 flights were delayed, which meant that we missed our 3rd and final flight to Portland. They were able to get us to Seattle that night, and then on the first flight from Seattle to Portland the next morning, but we did have to spend a few hours sleeping on the airport floor in the Seattle airport. We got to Seattle at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and our flight didn't leave until about 8 a.m. the next day. Thankfully, we had our sleeping pads and sleeping bags with us, so we were at least able to get a little bit of sleep. Good morning.
Is it morning?
It is morning. Yeah.
Let's fire.
So we are at the Seattle airport. We yesterday our flight.
Which yesterday?
Yesterday our flight out of DC was delayed, so we missed our connecting flight back to Portland, and they were gonna put us back on a plane today at 7 p.m. and then that did not seem like a great idea, so we talked to someone else and they got us on a plane to Seattle, and we got to Seattle at like 1 o'clock in the morning and was able to put out our sleeping pads and sleep for a few hours. Now it's almost 5. We just got some Starbucks and our flight leaves around 6:30, so we should be home in a few hours. Finally getting on our plane to go home.
And for those of you on the left side of the plane, we're just flying over Mount St. Helen, and she's very snowy and very pretty this morning. Yeah. So we should be coming, you can see, I always forget it's Washington or Adams in the distance. And we should be coming up Mount Hood shortly.
Well, we have finally made it home. It is about 10 a.m. We've been traveling for like over 24 hours. I'm very happy to be home. Got to see Bandit. It's always hard leaving him for sure. But I am supposed to work today. Luckily, I was already scheduled to work from home, so I don't have to go into the office, but I do have to clock in and work for the rest of the day, and then hopefully get some sleep. Yeah, thank you so much for watching this crazy episode where pretty much nothing went as planned. Thank you so much for watching, and mighty fine hiking, everyone. Bye!